presentation. Ms. Broughton, questions?
Thank you very much for your presentation. One of the issues that I've heard from folks around the province is that buyers of homes really want complete disclosure, and they depend on their realtor and those giving them advice at the time of transaction to make sure that they have that information. And perhaps at times why something like renovating a countertop takes priority over doing some work which might be energy retrofitting a home is because that's obvious to the eye. And we had presentations before committee in the last number of days that really explained to us how much detail is provided with respect to a home energy audit. And it would seem to me that that type of information, combined with the fact that that audit is then transferable to the new purchaser, helps very much on a critical issue and a critical barrier to first-time buyers and entry into ownership, and that is the carrying costs associated with that home. So I just want you to speak to why information which directly relates to the carrying costs of a home would not be of critical disclosure importance to a home buyer, especially a first-time buyer.
And I agree. A first-time home buyer is certainly very much aware of what is their energy costs going to be. And realtors in this province are very conscious of that. One of the things that's asked in most real estate transactions is what is the cost, the energy cost of carrying the house. So the new buyer comes in knowing that. And on a voluntary basis, they will ask to have a building inspection. They will ask to have the energy costs. And that is included in their, normally in a purchase of any home in this province by a realtor. But the thing is, it's on a voluntary basis. We had a public opinion poll by Ipsos Reid that said that the majority of first-time home buyers are more concerned with the amount of they're going to pay for the house, the location of the house, whether it's close to their work, whether it's close to public transportation. They did not even list the energy costs, surprisingly enough, in the top number of things that they thought was important in a purchase. And the right to know is a subjective right, I find, because I believe that if you're buying a home, you have a right to know if there is a crack in the foundation, and yet we have not seen this province make mandatory home inspections. I have a right to know if the house I'm buying used to be a grow hop, but in spite of the fact that we have spoken often to have a public listing of grow-ops in this province, a thing that is a health concern to a buyer, it is not. So the right to know is subjective.
Okay,
we truly believe they will have that right if it's
Mr.
voluntary.
Yakubowski, questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pauline and Jim. Pleased that you could join us today. Oh, and your name? Barb. Interesting, Ms. Broughton, talking about the importance of this energy information. There, to my knowledge, there is nothing to preclude, as they make the request for a home inspection, there's nothing to preclude or prohibit the buyer from making a request as part of the offer to purchase and sale an energy audit. They could make that request today. It would be at their expense, just like a home inspection is. So if they really felt that that was the key issue, if they examined the hydro bills and the gas bills and everything else, they could still make that request. You can answer that when I finish here, but so that's something that they have that option today if they wanted, and that's on a voluntary basis, and that wouldn't make it mandatory. The other thing that I find kind of strange is that they want to talk about the energy efficiency of homes. One of the biggest consumers of electricity in the homes is not the home itself, but what you put in it. For example, appliances, and the government with their McGuinty tax grab in the beginning next year is not even exempting Energy Star appliances from their tax grab. I'm just amazed that they would do that without. If they want to talk about energy efficiency, why aren't they addressing that?
Well, prospective home buyers who want an energy audit truly can put it into any agreement of purchase and sale and make it conditional. Even today, we will see buyers who choose to have an energy audit, but it is a voluntary basis and is negotiated as part of their agreement of purchase and sale.
Thank you, Mr. Tabbins.
Thank you very much for the presentation and coming here. I've had an opportunity to hear OREA in a number of days. And so I've asked questions before about the energy audit, but I want to ask a different question. I asked of the Canadian Federation of Independent Business People. If, in fact, homeowners were offered a large-scale program of leasing at a low cost renewable power technologies, for instance, a solar panel on your roof so that you could sell power into the grid and reduce your peak demand during the day, do you think there would be much uptake?
We actually have never had that question asked of us before, so it's an interesting question. Even now, I mean, I sell homes that are off the grid, so there are people who voluntarily do choose to have, who have never wanted to be part of, the energy, Ontario Hydro, whatever, who voluntarily are in solar, are in wind. So I think, yes, there are home buyers who will choose to do that.
And do you think there would be a lot of home buyers who would do it if it was cost competitive with their current cost of electricity?
It's an interesting question because I don't think we've ever done a study on it, but I don't know the answer to that question.
Anecdotally, I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
It would depend on cost. Right now, things like solar panels are prohibitively expensive.
Correct. I agree.
And the people who install them are making an environmental lifestyle choice. If you look at the return on investment, it would take them decades to recover the capital cost that they put into things like solar panels.
Thank you. That's time for your presentation.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
coming
much.
in this afternoon.
Appreciate it.
Our next presentation, the Consumers Council of Ontario. I'm going to take a moment and remind members they have in front of them, there was a question that was raised the other day in terms of the Wind Concerns Ontario group, the 28 organizations. That information has been provided by research. There was one other question around